Now, I could give you the usual list of pattern making tools that everyone recommends, but to be honest, it's a massive financial investment buying all those tools, and some of the ones they recommend are kind of outdated. Hi, welcome to Pattern Making with Leigh. The best way I can think to honestly tell you what you really need to start pattern making is to show you what's in my pencil case. And in this video, I'll share the reasons why some of the usual pattern making tools aren't in there. I have got a couple of fancy industry things in here, so I'll suggest cheaper alternatives too. Okay, lots of duplicates here. I've got lots of pencils for drafting my patterns. I use 0.5mm mechanical pencils, so the lines are nice and sharp, but any pencil will do. I also have some pens and markers for marking my draped fabrics. Once again, any pen and marker will do. You'll also need a rubber and a tracing wheel to trace patterns. Try and find the ones with pointy spikes. The round ones don't work very well. Some of these tools are hard to find, so I created my own store on Amazon, and you can find the link to the beginner, budget-friendly list in the description below. Also, if you click on my profile photo, it will take you to my store homepage with my recommended book lists, other tools you might need, and my favorite tools I can't work without. Full disclosure, I do receive a small commission on these products, but this does not affect the price you are charged. And as you can see in this video, I really do own and use them. And I've got some regular paper scissors, nothing fancy here, and tape to stick pieces of paper together. You will need some sort of tape, and I would really recommend magic tape, even though it's slightly more expensive, because it won't tear your paper and you can draw over it. Then I've got some pins. Pins are important for draping and cutting patterns, as well as sewing. You'll also need a measuring tape, and I've got these purple vanishing markers. Purple vanishing markers are another luxury item for me, and as the name suggests, they do vanish over time, or you can remove them with this marker here. And I use them to draft my necklines and my style lines. I also use Sherman design tape, which is another luxury item. An alternative would be to use a pencil or a really lightweight marker or a really narrow washi tape to draw your style lines and draft necklines. Extra things that don't fit my pencil case are my beloved fabric scissors, another luxury item for me, but any fabric scissors will do. And pattern paper. I use Spot and Cross, which is expensive, but you can use any lightweight craft paper. And calico, which is also called muslin. Calico and muslin is what we use in the industry to twirl our patterns and to drape with. It's very versatile and durable and relatively cheap, but if you are on a budget, you can get some secondhand bed sheets. We just need something that's really sturdy and a sort of lightweight cotton. I also have a mannequin, which I know is quite expensive and it's big sort of upfront cost, but if you are going to do a lot of draping, they are really useful, especially if you can get one to fit your body measurements exactly. But have a look around for secondhand ones. I know a lot of people have bought them from schools or designers who have sort of recently gone out of business, and there is a big secondhand market for them, especially in the UK. I also use this armband pincushion a lot when I'm draping. It's the one we used at Alexander McQueen. I've done a video on how to make your own, which you can check out too. Oh, and really importantly, rulers. I only have two rulers, a straight one for drawing straight lines and a French curve for drawing armholes. There's lots of rulers. There's never ending list of rulers you can get. In the UK, Pattern Masters is quite popular. I got one when I lived in the UK, never used it. And my philosophy is keep it simple, keep them lightweight, see-through ideally. Get one for straight lines and one for curves. So the final list is, feel free to take a screenshot. As I said, I have made a list on Amazon, but if you want to support your local corner and fabric store, you should be able to get most of those things there. Before I tell you what's not my pencil case, if you want the full list of draping and pattern making tools, go to my website, clickedpatternkits.com. Subscribe to my newsletter at the bottom of the page, and I'll email you the full list, plus the 10-step pattern checklist I use to check my patterns before I send them to production. So what's not my pencil case? A notch, awl, and a drill hole. I mention these because they're always on pattern making tools lists. I think they're kind of outdated for a couple of reasons. Firstly, they're not accurate. Even the notch, even if you get a narrow one, still has a width to it. And the drill hole cuts a whole circle in your pattern. Instead, draw a perpendicular line for a notch, and the machinist can just snip into the fabric at that point, accurately, and mark drill holes with a cross and draw a circle around it. And the machinist can then mark the hole with a chalk or a purple vanishing marker. Anyway, that's what we did at Jenny Packham and Alexander McQueen. And secondly, I think these tools are more relevant when patterns are actually made on cardboard, which they aren't anymore, because you can easily trace around a cardboard outline and mark the notches and drill holes with chalk. But now, even if the pattern is made on paper in the studio, so the sample's made with paper pattern, when you send it to a grader or to a factory for production, it's all done digitally. So if you mark up a paper pattern with drill holes and notches, no one's going to see it. It will stay in-house. The pattern sent to factories and graders will be done digitally. Speaking of grading, production, and sampling, this next video will explain what the real sampling process is actually like. I'll share my experiences at Jenny Packham, Alexander Queen, and Osman, where I worked as a pattern maker for numerous years. So whether you're just curious or you're about to enter the industry or you want to start your own brand, this next video will show you how to create your own collection and how to produce it.